A soldier came home to a chilling surprise, his daughter kicked out for this shocking reason. The airport buzzed with excitement. People reunited, hearts full of joy, but for Nathan, it was different. He stepped through the terminal doors, a soldier returning home, weary from war but filled with hope. The sight of his daughter, Lily, should have brought a smile, but instead, an icy chill gripped him. She wasn't there. Frantic scans of the crowd revealed only strangers. Where was she? The questions ricocheted through his mind like bullets. He pulled out his phone and dialed her number, but all he got was silence. His heart pounded. Something was off. As he marched toward the exit, a woman next to him whispered, "Did you hear? She's in trouble." Who? He snapped, the urgency in his voice demanding answers. She turned slowly, her eyes wide with fear. "Lily, they kicked her out." "You didn't know?" The ground felt like quicksand beneath him. Kicked out. His stomach twisted. He started to jog toward his car, desperation breathing life into his weary legs. What could lead to such chaos? How could his sweet girl, the apple of his eye, end up in trouble? His phone buzzed violently, pulling him back to reality. It was a message from Lily, words fast and frantic. "Dad, you need to come home. I can't explain. It's bad." Her trembling words cut deep. Each letter felt heavy, loaded with fear. The car ride back felt like a lifetime. Every red light dragged, each honk heightened his anxiety. The closer he got to their house, the heavier the air became. Memories flooded his mind, laughing, baking cookies, bedtime stories. Memories that felt worlds away from the boy who could have done this to her. As he pulled into the driveway, a knot twisted tighter in his belly. The front door stood ajar, creaking ever so slightly, as if beckoning him inside. What secrets lay behind that door? The thought sent shivers down his spine. He pushed the door open. "Lily!" he called, voice echoing in the eerie stillness. No response. Just the sound of his own heartbeat pounding like a war drum. The walls felt like they were closing in. How could he protect her if he didn't know what was wrong? The silence weighed heavy. Just then, he heard a soft sobbing from upstairs. A rush of adrenaline surged through him. He darted up the stairs, each step a thunderous beat of dread. What had happened? What had changed? Before he reached the top, he heard a low murmur. "I didn't mean to. I'm sorry." Lily's voice trembled. The sound shattered him, each word like glass against his heart. Was it a boy? A fight? He pushed open the door to her room, and froze. Lily sat on her bed, surrounded by scattered clothes, her cheeks glistening with fresh tears. But who was standing over her? A shadowy figure turned slowly, their face concealed, a smile creeping across their lips that sent chilling waves down Nathan's spine. "Hey, before we continue with this amazing story, I need to give you an important heads up. Many subscribers have reported that YouTube unsubscribed them without warning. Take a quick second to check the red button below to make sure you're still subscribed to the channel. I'd hate for you to miss any of the exclusive content coming soon. And while you're there, smash that like button, it really helps me out with the algorithm. Oh, and tell me in the comments, which city are you watching from? I love getting to know every amazing person who's part of this community. Your participation makes all the difference. Let's connect. Who are you? Nathan demanded, chest tight, fists clenched. The stranger chuckled softly, eyes glinting with mischief. You really don't know? The words hung in the air, thick and poisonous. A wave of uncertainty rippled through Nathan. He felt the ground shifting beneath him. The figure took a step forward, revealing more shadows in the room, strange symbols and objects arranged in a circle on the floor. His mind raced. What was this? With Lily's frightened gaze locked on him, he realized that everything he thought he knew was about to unravel. Dad, you have to listen. Lily cried, desperation flooding her voice. But what could she possibly explain about the mess in front of him? The tension cracked like thunder. Was it too late to save her? Nathan's heart raced as he struggled to make sense of the scene before him. "What is going on, Lily?" he asked, his voice barely above a whisper, teeth clenched in fear. He could feel the dread curling in his stomach, the unknown stretching out before him like an endless void. The shadowy figure leaned closer, and for a moment, Nathan held his breath, watching as shadows flickered across the strange objects on the floor. They were not mere toys, they looked like remnants of a twisted ritual, an ancient design filled with dark intentions. Lily stood up, trembling, her eyes brimming with tears. "Dad, please," she pleaded. "I didn't mean for this to happen. I thought I could handle it." "Handle what? Who is this person?" He stormed forward, a protective instinct igniting within him unmistakably. The figure angled their body toward Nathan, the dim light finally revealing a face gaunt, with an unsettling smile that sent shivers racing up Nathan's spine. "Just a friend," the stranger smiled, but it felt as bitter as poison. "Lily was searching for something. Aren't you, Lily?" Lily stuttered, turning away, her face crumpling in pain as confusion twisted her features. "I just wanted to feel something different. I wanted to be accepted." Nathan shook his head, not fully understanding. "Accepted? By who?" The words spilled from him, raw and urgent. "You don't need anyone but me. You've got a father who loves you." The figure scoffed, dismissing Nathan's words like a fly buzzing around their head. "Oh, but isn't that the problem? You've been gone. Are you sure you really know your daughter?" Nathan flinched at the jab. He could feel the weight of the past pressing down on him. Leaving for war, he hoped to protect them both, but now he felt helpless. "Stop it!" Lily shouted, her voice breaking through the tension like a lightning bolt. "I can't take this anymore." She collapsed onto her bed, burying her head in her hands, ugly sobs racking her body. The figure turned to her, their smile sharpening, eyes flashing with something dark and malevolent. "You can't escape now, Lily. You're chosen." Nathan's blood turned to ice. Chosen for what? Panic surged through him, making his every muscle tense. "Get away from her!" he shouted, stepping forward, adrenaline coursing through him as he tried to push the figure back. But just as he moved, the lights flickered, and the atmosphere in the room shifted ominously. A chilling wind whipped through, rattling the window panes. Nathan felt an unseen force collide into him, knocking him to the floor. "Dad!" Lily screamed. In that moment of chaos, the figure reveled in the torment, their laughter echoing off the ancient walls of her room, a sound Nathan would never forget. Now, it's time for her to embrace her fate. With a surge of energy, Nathan pushed himself up, fighting against the fear constricting around his chest. He locked eyes with Lily, desperation urging him to reach out. "Lily, you can fight this. You have to fight." Her eyes widened, a flicker of hope igniting beneath the terror. That flicker became a flame. Nathan rushed forward, intent on breaking the hold over her. But before he could reach her, the figure lunged, arms outstretched, and then everything went dark. Silence. As Nathan struggled to catch his breath, he felt an unfamiliar warmth envelop him. Something shifted in the darkness, and a voice whispered, "Bleak, it's only just beginning." What had he stumbled into, and how would he save his daughter before it was too late? The darkness engulfed them, a thick fog that swallowed the air and chilled Nathan's bones. He could still feel the warmth, though it was fading fast, replaced by a sickening fear. Where was Lily? Was she okay? Panic clawed at him as he scrambled to comprehend his surroundings. The silence wasn't just eerie, it held a weight that felt almost alive. Then, as if drawn by some unseen magnet, the room flickered back into existence, but it was twisted. The walls pulsed with unnatural shadows, the furniture warped, and grotesque shapes loomed in every corner. Nathan gasped, his breath hitching as he pushed himself off the ground, fighting against an unseen force trying to drag him under. "Lily! His voice, a desperate echo, reverberated through the chaos. There was no answer. Just the haunting laughter of the figure that had invaded their lives. The laughter swirled around him like a taunt, filling the stifling air. Suddenly, a flicker caught his attention. He turned to see a sliver of light breaking through the thick shadows, a glimmer of hope. With every ounce of determination, he moved toward it, stumbling through the terrain that felt wrong beneath his feet. "Lily!" He shouted again, his heart pounding with urgency. The sound of his voice drew the shadows closer, wrapping tightly around him. Just as despair threatened to take hold, he caught sight of her slumped on the floor, surrounded by the remnants of that terrible ritual. Nathan rushed to her side, fear morphing into raw determination. She appeared frozen, eyes wide with shock, staring at something only she could see. "Lily, please. You have to come back to me." He pleaded, shaking her gently. The grip of shadows receded for just a moment, and he saw recognition flicker in her eyes. "Dad," she whispered, voice trembling like a fragile leaf in the wind. "I'm so scared." "I know. But we can get through this together," he said, warm determination creeping into his voice. "You're not alone." One of the objects on the floor caught his eye. It pulsed, a faint glow radiating from it. He reached for it, his fingers grazing its surface. As he touched it, a rush of energy shot through him, igniting a fire within. Suddenly, memories flooded back, moments from happier times, laughing together, a father and daughter bond that ran deeper than anything that could be twisted by darkness. "Remember when we used to stargaze? You loved to point out the constellations," he recalled, trying to draw her back from the abyss. "You can fight this, Lily. You have so much light inside you." Her gaze shifted, focusing now on him, that flicker of hope beginning to spark again. As he stood there, a shield against the shadows, she slowly began to rise, trembling but resolute. I don't want to be chosen. I want to choose my own path." She cried out, defiance flooding her voice. The shadows lashed out, angrily, swirling in an attempt to snuff out her flame. But Nathan stood firm beside her, solid as an oak, channeling every ounce of love he had for her. "Don't let them take you. Fight back." With those words, Lily straightened, a fire blooming in her chest. The oppressive shadows hesitated as she pushed back with everything she had. Light poured from her, spilling into the dark with an intensity that made Nathan's heart race. But the figure loomed, towering behind them, its sinister presence thickening the air, threatening to drag them back into its maw. "You think you can escape?" It hissed, voice like ice. Time slowed, and Nathan's heart thudded painfully in his chest. What would happen next? Could they really break free? Then, just as the light exploded from Lily, the figure advanced, blocking their path to freedom. Nathan felt the weight of the moment, the delicate balance between light and dark, trapped in this battle for his daughter's soul. In that heart-stopping instant, he knew they were at a crossroads. Would the shadows prevail, or would love and determination ignite the way forward? And in that split second, he braced himself, ready to fight for everything he held dear. But what if there were even darker secrets waiting to be uncovered? The shadows hissed around them, each syllable laced with malice. Nathan felt a chill creep down his spine, tightening his grip on Lily's hand as they faced that towering figure. It loomed larger, the eyes like voids sucking in the flickering light. "You have no idea what you're up against," it growled, the words dragging through the air like a snake. "No, but we'll find out together," Nathan shot back, his voice more a growl than a plea. He could feel the heat radiating from Lily, her glow battling against the malevolence that wanted to pull them apart. It was a clash of wills, light against dark. Lily's courage became a beacon, urging Nathan forward. He stepped closer, his heart hammering as he felt the edges of reality starting to warp around them. "We will not let you win," he shouted, a surge of defiance coursing through him as he raised his other hand, channeling all his strength into their luminous bond. In response, the figure laughed, a sound like shattering glass. How quaint, such bravery in the face of inevitable doom. Shadows writhed in anticipation, slithering over the walls like hungry insects. Don't listen to it. Focus on the light. Nathan called out, his voice rising above the dreadful sounds. You have the power to push it away. Lily closed her eyes, her brow furrowing as she took a deep breath, grounding herself in the memories they shared. They were woven into her very essence, moments spent in the sunshine, laughter echoing beneath the stars, every cherished second fueling the fire within. I am not afraid. She shouted, her voice a combination of fear and resolve that rolled out like thunder. A jolt of energy surged through the room. For an instant, everything paused, the shadows, the figure, even Nathan's pounding heart. Then with a blinding flash, light erupted from Lily, engulfing everything. The dark shrieked, a sound so powerful Nathan felt it shake the foundation of reality itself, but just as suddenly, shadows lunged at them with ferocity, clawing at the edges of the light, borrowing strength from the fear that echoed in Nathan's heart. Lily, hold on. We can push them back. He urged, even as he felt tendrils of despair begin to wrap around him. I don't want to be chosen. I choose. Lily screamed, her light intensity increasing, casting a glow as bright as the sun into the choking shadows. Go back to where you came from. The figure reeled, its breaths ragged and strained. You think you can defy your fate? It spat, recoiling momentarily. The shadows around it flickered as if uncertain, a moment of weakness sparked. Yes. Nathan yelled, feeling a swell of courage. Your fate is your own. Rising up together, they unleashed every ounce of their combined will, the light shattering the oppressive gloom. But as the darkness crumbled and the figure began to dissolve, it hissed one final curse. You may escape this time, but I will return. There are more secrets than you can fathom, and they are closer than you think. Suddenly, the surge of light engulfed them entirely. The ground beneath their feet trembled, and with a deafening roar, the world fractured around them. Then, as swiftly as it came, silence descended. The brightness faded, replaced by the soft glow of early dawn. Nathan fell to his knees, gasping for air, clutching Lily tight. She trembled, eyes still wide, but now there were no grotesque shadows circling them, just the heavy stillness of the morning air. They were somewhere else, but where? Nathan blinked against the brightness. The memory of the figure's final words echoed in his mind. What does it mean, Lily? He asked, his voice low and worried. What was it talking about? They looked around, uncertainty gnawing at their insides. The world felt fragile, like glass on the edge of shattering. But deep down, Nathan knew, the darkness had not been vanquished. It lay in wait, lurking just beyond their sight, biding its time. What other chilling revelations were yet to be uncovered as they ventured forward? The morning air was thick with uncertainty, the kind that clung to the skin like sweat after a nightmare. Nathan looked at Lily, his breath shaky, trying to piece together the fragments of what had just transpired. The world around them was calm, a stark contrast to the chaos they had just escaped. Yet, Nathan felt the trembling undercurrent of urgency beneath the beauty of dawn. Stay close, he whispered, pulling Lily protectively to his side. Every sound felt amplified, the chirping birds, the rustling leaves, each one a haunting reminder that the darkness could return any moment. As they moved cautiously through the eerily serene landscape, Nathan scanned their surroundings. The trees towered above, shadows dappled across the ground like silhouettes of their fears. We need to find a safe place, he decided. Somewhere we can talk without being watched. Lily nodded, her expression still marked by lingering dread. What if it comes back? Her voice was small, cracking at the edges. It won't tea if we're prepared, Nathan urged, trying to ignite a flicker of confidence. But inside, a cold knot twisted in his gut. He wasn't certain of anything but this. The figure's warning loomed over them like a black cloud. They pressed on, the soft crunch of leaves beneath their feet seemingly drowned out by Nathan's heavy thoughts. As they trudged deeper into the overgrown path, the weight of their situation began to settle in. The figure had hinted at more secrets, and Nathan couldn't shake the sensation that they were standing at the precipice of something dark. Suddenly, an unsettling rustle came from behind them. Nathan whipped around, instinctively stepping in front of Lily. The forest had come alive with the sound of crunching wood, and for a split second, fear paralyzed him. Then, a figure emerged, a young woman, wild-eyed, hair tangled, but unmistakably familiar. "Dad," she cried, falling into Nathan's embrace. It was his daughter, Mia. "How are you here?" he stammered, shock surging through him. "I thought you were in the city." I escaped. I had to find you. They came for me." Mia's breath hitched, and Nathan felt her trembling against him. "Who came?" The shadows," she whispered, looking around as if she could genuinely see them slithering among the trees. A chill crept over Nathan's skin, and he felt Lily's hand slip into his once more, reassuring but laden with unsaid fears. But before they could sort through the confusion, an odd shift in the air made Nathan's throat go dry. The shadows hadn't just been a manifestation of their fears, they were now creeping into this reality. Suddenly, the air thickened, buzzing with anticipation. Mia's eyes widened in realization. "No. We have to move, now." Her voice sharpened with fear, and she tugged at Nathan's sleeve. The distance shifted, shadows warping into grotesque shapes, whispering Nathan's deepest insecurities. "They're here." Mia screamed, her voice breaking as she pulled him towards a narrow path. Behind them, a dark mass gathered, shifting like a hurricane preparing to strike. The figure's words echoed in Nathan's mind, replaying in an agonizing loop. "Protect her. Don't let the darkness take her." He screamed at Lily, his heart racing. But as he turned back, that familiar, disconcerting voice resonated from the depths of the dark mass, smooth yet monstrous. "Ah, family. How quaint, there's nothing like a reunion, is there? To think you thought you could escape." Nathan's eyes strained against the terrifying sight. As he tightened his grip around Mia, he realized that the shadows weren't just hunting them, they were targeting his past, everything he cared about. "Run!" he roared, urgency driving his limbs in a frantic escape. They fled deeper into the forest, but Nathan's mind raced with a staggering thought: if the darkness knew them, it could exploit their vulnerabilities. What secrets did it hold about him that were yet to surface? Would he find the strength to stand against it once more, or would the impending shadows swallow them whole? The forest echoed with unanswered questions, and danger lurked just beyond their footsteps. How could they escape the sins that shadowed them? Thickening shadows chased them, twisting like smoke in the eerie forest light. Nathan's heart thundered in his chest as he sprinted, dragging Mia and Lily along the narrow path, branches clawing at their clothes like ghostly hands trying to snatch them back. "Where do we go?" Mia gasped, glancing over her shoulder. The darkness pulsed, swirling with a life of its own, and the ground beneath them felt unstable, as if even nature feared what was closing in. "Just keep moving," Nathan shouted, desperation fueling his speed. They hurried down the winding trail, each footfall echoing against the growing dread. Every few moments, Nathan felt the shadowy figure pressing closer, whispering taunts that pricked at scars he thought long healed. "You're still the same man, Nathan. Always running." The voice sent shivers racing down his spine. Suddenly, Lily stumbled, falling to her knees. I can't keep going," she wheezed, panic constricting her throat. Nathan stopped, heart racing as he saw the wild look in her eyes, as if she were struggling not just against fear, but against the roots of her own past pulling her back. "No. You can't stop." He gripped her shoulders, frantic. "We're almost there. We just need a little more." But as he urged her, the shadows pulsed harder, a dark wave cresting behind them, dragging with it the unnerving sound of laughter, hungry, mocking laughter. Mia pulled Nathan's sleeve. "Dad, she needs us. We can't leave her." "No. We can't waste time. We don't know what it will do if we don't move." He was torn. His protective instincts for both Lily and Mia clashed fiercely in that moment, and all he could see were their terrified faces. The shadows loomed, and without thinking, he reached for Lily. "You have to," but before he could finish the thought, the ground below them trembled violently, as if the forest were alive and angry at their presence. Nathan glanced between the two girls, their fear palpable, and then a dreadful realization hit him. The forest wasn't just a witness, it was an accomplice to this darkness. "We need to split up," Nathan said, the words tasting like ash in his mouth. "Mia, take Lily. Find higher ground, somewhere the shadows can't reach. I'll draw them away." "No," Lily shouted, fear swelling her voice. "If we stay together, we're limited. We don't stand a chance. You trust me, don't you?" He stared into their desperate eyes, hoping desperately to anchor them in action. "Dad!" Mia cried, but the shadow's laughter deepened, echoing like thunder. "Go!" Nathan shouted, feeling the strained fibers of his resolve teeter. In the chaos, he felt them hesitate, but then with a nod, they turned, scrambling up a nearby slope. As they vanished into the underbrush, Nathan braced himself, feeling the darkness literally breathe just behind him. It was almost tangible, wrapping around his throat like a noose. With a deep breath, he confronted the shadows. "Come on. You want me?" The air crackled with anticipation. He could almost hear the shadows purring back. "Everything you're running from is right here, Nathan. Don't you want to know why you were left behind?" The voice dripped with malice, cruel and inviting at once. Nathan clenched his fists, stepping forward. "I'll never let you have them." But as the shadows encroached, dark fingers reaching desperately, Nathan felt the cold grip of fear seep into him. Would he truly be able to resist the promises of the past, or would they engulf him in despair? Suddenly, footsteps echoed behind him. He glanced over his shoulder. A figure emerged from the fog, scarcely visible but unmistakable. "Mia? Lily?" The shadows swirled, and Nathan's heart dropped. The ground beneath their feet shifted violently once more, as the realization dawned on him that the darkness had found a new way to disturb their escape. The figure moved closer, and when Nathan recognized its familiar form, a shudder of dread flooded through him. "Dad, I found you." The last thing he expected to hear sent icy fingers crawling down his spine. "Is that you?" And just like that, the mystery was deepened secrets, intertwined into a single heartbeat of terror, squeezing Nathan to the breaking point. What new threat awaited him in that dim light, and could he protect the ones he loved from the shadows that now seemed closer than ever? "Dad, I found you." The voice hung in the air like a death knell, scraping against Nathan's raw nerves. It was unmistakably Maya, his daughter. But there was something off about her. Angles of her face seemed too sharp, her movements were too fluid, almost unnatural. "Maya?" He called out, his own voice cracked with disbelief. "What are you doing here?" The shadows surged, a living mass of regret and malice that seemed to relish in his confusion. The laughter echoed, louder now, morphing into voices he recognized all too well, old friends, lost loves, and haunting faces from the past. "What do you want?" Nathan demanded, clutching the memories like a shield. He felt his heart race. Maya had been gone for so long, a separation that made every second feel like an eternity. "You can't have her. Maya's safe with me, Dad." She smiled, but the warmth behind it was hollow, drained of the love he knew. "She's finally free, just like you should be." "Free from what?" Nathan's anger sparked a fire in his chest. "What have you done to her?" "Nothing yet." The shadows twisted around Maya, merging with her as if they were one. "But you, Dad, you've been running so long, hiding from the truth. I'm here to help you face it." Nathan stumbled back, consumed by a blend of dread and fury. "Help me? This isn't help, it's madness." The forest pulsed around him, dark roots snaking deeper into the earth, whispering secrets long buried. Maya stepped closer, and he recoiled, something in her eyes glistened with a darkness that didn't belong. Don't you see? The past is like a shadow, always lurking, tempting you back. But it doesn't have to be terrifying. You can embrace it. Embrace me. He shook his head, memories surfacing like nightmarish images, the long nights alone, the guilt, the unanswered questions. No. This isn't you. You're not this, creature. A guttural laugh resonated in the air. The shadows danced eagerly, pressing closer. Creature. It's simply a more honest version of you. It's time to face the person you've tried to forget. Every heartbeat hammered against his ribs as he glanced back towards the direction where Mia and Lily had fled. Each moment felt like an eternity, every second stolen away by the wretched tug of the shadows. Maya, listen to me. He pleaded. We need to get away from here. This isn't safe for either of us. But instead of fear, his daughter's eyes reflected a sense of longing. Why would I leave this place? It's where the truth lies. Where you can finally stop running. Nathan's mind reeled. The shadows tightened, their whispers clawing at his sanity. No. I want to let you take me. With fierce clarity, he turned his back on Maya, on the chaos that threatened to consume him. He sprinted into the depths of the forest, each step echoing louder than the last, fueled by instinct and love. Mia. Lily. Voice hoarse, he shouted their names, praying they were safe somewhere far from the darkness, but the shadows surged, blocking his path, the voices crescendoing. You've set them up for what's coming, Nathan. You'll see. He stumbled, breath coming in quick gasps. Memories swirled, each colder than the last. Images of regret wrapped around him like chains, each knee-jerk panic pressing against his chest. This was no longer just about surviving, it was about facing what he had buried so deep. As he dashed forward, the ground trembled again. A blinding flash of light illuminated the dense foliage, revealing figures standing between him and the escape he so desperately sought. He braced himself, heart racing. Were they friends? Enemies? Enough of this. A commanding voice broke through the clamor. It was sharper than glass, cutting through the laughter and anguish of the shadows. Nathan blinked against the brightness, trying to comprehend the reality shifting around him. Help has arrived. The figure stepped closer, bathed in an ethereal light. And as the shadows recoiled, Nathan felt a surge of hope for the first time, but deep in his gut, a gnawing doubt settled. Was this help or yet another layer of the darkness creeping in? Follow me if you want to save them. The figure urged, an outstretched hand promising escape. Would he abandon Maya? Could Nathan trust not just his past, but his instincts in this shifting nightmare? He hesitated, knowing the moment would dictate everything. As he took a shaky step forward, the shadows screamed, and he felt the ground tremble beneath him once more. What lay ahead, and would he really be able to save his loved ones, or was he walking deeper into the abyss? Nathan hesitated, his heart racing as he weighed the options. The figure in the light seemed genuine, a lifeline in the storm of shadows. But what if this was another snare, another trap spun from the darkness that clung to every crevice of this cursed forest? Please, Nathan. The voice soared above the cacophony, compelling and rich with desperation. What's at stake is bigger than you know. He could feel the shadows tightening their grip, swirling closer with every second he lingered. His mind flashed to Maya, to Mia and Lily, and the suffering they had endured. He had to act. With a deep breath, he took a step toward the outstretched hand, but his resolve was shattered as an ear-piercing scream erupted from somewhere deep within the woods. It was layered with terror, a sound that clawed at him from the inside out. Maya! Nathan shouted, breaking into a run towards the sound, instinct overriding reason. But the shadows surged even harder against him, wrapping tendrils of darkness around his ankles, pulling him back. Don't! The figure cried, but Nathan didn't stop. The scream reverberated through him like a hammer striking metal, creating echoes of memories of loss, of love, of everything he had fought to protect. He tore free of the darkness, pushing forward until he burst through a thicket into a clearing. The moon hung high, casting a ghostly light across the scene. There, on the forest floor, lay Maya, her body convulsing as if caught in a violent dream. The shadows writhed around her, murmuring secrets only they could understand. Nathan's heart sank as he dropped to her side. Maya. He shook her gently, urging her awake. It's me. It's Dad. With a jolt, she opened her eyes, those piercing eyes that once sparkled with innocence now held an abyss of despair. Dad. She gasped, the illusion cracking like fragile glass. You shouldn't have come. What is happening to you? Nathan demanded, fear flooding his voice. Her body trembled as she struggled against whatever was holding her captive. I'm trying to protect you. You don't understand what is coming. The darkness, it thrives on your fear. It will take you too. No. Nathan's voice broke. I want to let it take you. We can fight it together. As he held her, his determination sparked a flicker of defiance against the encroaching shadows. But they weren't done yet. The darkness swirled in protest, a tempest of anger and malice. Your weakness blinds you, Nathan, a voice echoed from within the throng of shadows, smooth and mocking. It made Nathan's skin crawl. You choose to save her, but at what cost? She belongs to me now. Maya's eyes widened with terror. No. Dad, please. You don't know what you're doing. How can I save you if you're trapped? Nathan's voice grew louder, layered with desperation. He could feel the ground shift as the shadows throbbed, hungry for fear, eager to reclaim what they had lost. What are you waiting for? The figure shouted from the edge of the clearing, urgency lacing every word. It's time to choose. Either face the shadows or succumb to them. Your time is slipping away. Nathan's pulse quickened as the shadows lunged forward, seeking to swallow them whole. Choose, Nathan. Now. He looked at Maya, her face a mask of fear blended with something he had never seen before, understanding. In that instant, he saw the truth that had been waiting, smothered in his denial. The ground vibrated beneath him, and he felt the grip of the shadows loosening, guessing he had only moments to act. Together. He shouted, grabbing Maya's hand. We face them together. With a flicker of light from his core, Nathan launched himself forward, pulling Maya behind him. Would their combined strength be enough to shatter the darkness enveloping them? Or had they truly walked too far into the abyss? The shadows roared, the sound splitting through the night like thunder. Uncertainty clamped down like a vice, leaving Nathan gasping, but they pushed onward. What awaited them beyond the next breath, beyond the veil of shadow? The darkness hungered, but so did hope. But would hope be enough as the ground trembled and something ancient stirred beneath the soil? Nathan felt the surge of energy as he and Maya charged forward, the shadows crashing against them like waves. Fear clawed at him, but he refused to let it control him. He pulled Maya closer, their fingers intertwined, grounding each other against the embrace of the darkness. Hold on. He shouted, determination blazing in his eyes. The shadows hissed and whipped around them, hungry for vulnerability. Each tendril felt like icy fingers scraping against his skin, designed to frighten him into submission. But he dug deeper, recalling the warmth of Maya's laughter, the light in her eyes before all this began. The clearing grew darker, the moonlight dimming as if it feared what was unfolding. We can do this. He yelled, more to himself than to her. The sudden weight of despair settled heavily on his chest, threatening to crush him. Shadows poured forth, coiling like serpents, eager to tighten their grip around his heart. Maya's breath quickened beside him, a shattered whisper. The shadows, they want to pull us apart. No. Nathan roared, pushing back the encroaching darkness with sheer willpower. We're stronger than this. Together. He felt an old fire ignite within him, a fierce resolve that had seen him through countless battles, bringing him back to the here and now. With each step, he envisioned a light growing, its brilliance cutting through the abyss. Memories of laughter, love, and the power of family surged within him, wrapping around his vision like armor. He tightened his grip on Maya's hand, forcing her to believe in their shared strength. They pressed onward, and the shadows screeched in disarray, their whispers transforming into frantic wails. For a moment, Nathan saw a face in the darkness, a twisted, grinning form that embodied fear itself. It was the bitter reminder of everything they had lost. "This is your home now," it taunted, minds warped and filled with despair. "Not for me," Nathan shouted, his voice rising above the tumult. He swung their combined energies into a shield, a pulse of warmth to defy the cold that gnawed at their spirits. "We're breaking free." Maya blinked rapidly, her expression shifting from terror to determination. "Let us push through." Together they surged forward in a united front, eyes locked on the pulsing heart of darkness that threatened to engulf them. The shadows screamed, a collective howl of rage that pierced the very fabric of the night. But as they pressed ahead, Nathan felt a lightning sensation, like fresh air cascading through a confined space. Each step took them closer to a point where the shadows quivered, weakened by their resolve. Suddenly, a bright light erupted from the center of the clearing, illuminating everything like dawn, dispelling the night. Nathan felt his heart race as the brightness cut through the darkness, revealing an ancient tree at its core, roots curled like an enraged creature. It exuded a power, a link to all that was good buried deep within the forest. "Touch it!" Maya shouted, her voice imbued with newfound strength. They raced toward the tree, the shadows clawing furiously as they drew closer. The ground shook violently, they could hear the ancient whispers growing in fury, threatening to collapse around them. Would the tree's power be enough? Or would the shadows reassert their terrible hold? With one synchronized gesture, they placed their hands on the rough bark. The moment connected them, the shadows screeched in rage, a final desperate plea that echoed through the night. Nathan's heart thundered in his chest. The ground beneath them felt alive, the power pulsing around them, igniting their very souls. But as the shadows writhed in their last throes of anger, Nathan suddenly felt a chilling presence emerge behind them, a dark specter lingering just out of sight. Was it too late? What awaited them in the depths of that sinister void? In that electrifying moment, they braced for what came next, knowing the battle for their souls was far from over. The shadows writhed around Nathan and Maya, their fingers grasping like tendrils of despair. But as they pressed their palms against the ancient tree, a surge of warmth coursed through them, flooding their veins with light. Together, they poured their love, their determination, all the moments they cherished into the gnarled bark, tapping into the deep roots of hope and family that ran beneath the surface. "Focus!" Nathan yelled over the chaos, grounding himself further with every pulse of energy they shared. "We're stronger than whatever this is, Maya. We have to believe that." Maya closed her eyes tightly, breathing in the essence of the tree, the life flow it had guarded for centuries. "I believe," she shouted, her voice ringing out against the dreadful cacophony of darkness that was beginning to unravel around them. "I choose light." With that declaration, a brilliant light erupted from their joined hands, pouring outward like sunlight breaking through clouds. It enveloped them, casting the shadows back with an intensity that sent tremors through the ground. The trees around them shuddered, pulling their dark roots from the earth as if they, too, were rebelling against the encroaching void. The shadowy figure screamed, a banshee wail filled with rage and disbelief. "You cannot possess her. She is mine." The words slithered across the clearing, a final desperate attempt to regain control. Nathan felt the cadence of fear push him, but within that pulse, he also sensed something else: strength. "No!" he bellowed. "Maya is not yours. She belongs to herself." The energy flowing from the tree spurred him on, and he tightened his grip. "We reclaim our light." Maya's voice joined his, their combined strength weaving a tapestry of resistance that twined around the shrieking shadows, forcing them to retreat. The darkness writhed and shrieked as their light pressed forward, illuminating what had once been lost. "I can see it," Maya shouted amidst the chaos, her eyes shining like stars in the night. I can see the truth. As they pushed harder, the shadows began to falter, their form distorting, losing coherence. The fear that had held them hostage for so long began to dissolve, revealing glimpses of memory, of laughter, of love's sweet moments long buried. A final blast of vibrant energy from the tree surged through them, igniting a wave of brilliance that engulfed the clearing. In the face of such overwhelming radiance, the shadow figure shrieked in agony, the darkness fading before the light like mist before the dawn. Nathan and Maya stood firm, unleashed power coursing through them, unyielding. We are not products of your shadows. Nathan shouted, the resolve in his heart sealing their victory. We are joy, we are life. And we stand together. With that final, unified cry, the darkness shattered, fracturing into countless particles that twinkled like fallen stars moments before disappearing into the boundless void. The echoes of torment faded completely, leaving behind only a serene stillness that settled over the forest. Panting, Nathan turned to Maya, feeling the weight lift from his chest. Did we do it? He asked, hope dawning. Maya nodded, tears of relief streaming down her face. I think we did, Dad. We chose to fight back. The ancient tree seemed to pulsate with gratitude, its bark shimmering softly in the newfound light, and Nathan placed a hand on it, feeling an ancient pulse resound within him, a connection deeper than fear, a bond that would never break. As they turned to leave the clearing, they heard a gentle rustle. The air was lighter, and warmth cascaded around them. Emerging from the shadows was a third figure, one that made their hearts leap with recognition. Lily stood there, eyes bright and alight with wonder. Dad! Maya! She exclaimed, running into their embrace. An anchor amidst the calm. Relief washed over Nathan, and he pulled both girls close, holding on to that moment as if it were the last drop of sunlight before dusk. They had come through the storm together, stronger. But the warning from the shadows hung over him, creasing his brow. Will it come back? He asked, a tremor in his voice. No, Lily said softly, shaking her head. Not if we remember to stay together. We learn from what we faced. Love is our shield. Together, they stepped out of the clearing and into the vibrant morning, carrying the lessons of their ordeal with them. The sun rose higher in the sky, and as they moved forward, a shared understanding blossomed within their hearts. The bonds they forged and the strength they wielded could keep the shadows at bay. Nathan glanced back at the old tree once more, an unspoken promise settling in his heart. Whatever darkness lay on the horizon, they would face it together, a family, a light that would never waver. As they walked deeper into the day, Nathan felt a warm sense of renewal, grateful for the chaos that had led them to this moment. Their journey was not over, but together they could conquer anything. Every step forward was a choice to embrace the light, a strong bond that made the shadows retreat until the day would dawn again, and they would be ready. Don't wait even one more second. You need to subscribe immediately to this channel, so you don't miss any of our upcoming exclusive stories. Smash that like button now to help feed the algorithm and share these amazing adventures with the world. Flood the comments with your reactions, your theories about what happened, and your thoughts on this powerful journey, and don't forget to instantly share this video with at least 5 friends who need to see this emotional conclusion. It's time to show your support and keep the light shining bright.